Well, thank you everyone for jumping on this evening and giving up part of your Sunday evening to listening to what these ladies have got to talk about. So we're all really excited at the moment as we're going to be shortly finding out where our next all expenses paid success trip is from the company, and we're going to be hearing from some of the amazing ladies on the team, a bit about their stories and their experiences on the trips as well. So first up, I'd love to introduce my coach in the business, Liz Woodward. She's been in the business for 4 years now. She's a Ruby partner and she's a mum of three. So sorry, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this call. I'm super excited to come on and talk a little bit about success trips. I was really lucky to be able to go. I've been on 2 success trips now, to Mauritius and back to Utah in America to the head office. So I've been in business 4.5 years. And in all honesty, when I found out about the trip to Mauritius 2.5 years ago, it was when I went to run for this trip. I don't know what made me run for it. I just thought, I saw the pictures, I saw where it was, and I just made the decision that I was going to go. I was a single mum, and I was saving up money to take my son to my auntie's apartment in Spain, and I was struggling to even get the money for the flight. So when I saw this trip and I could take my partner and my son at the time, or daughter, sorry, at the time, all paid for, I thought, I am going on that trip. And I made that decision. It wasn't I'm going to try and work for it. I wonder if I can do it. I just saw it and I saw that other people had done it. And I thought, do you know what? I don't know what I have to do to get there, but I am going on that trip. Once I made the decision, I found out what I had to do. And I just thought, you know what, if other people have done it, then why can't I? I am going to do it. And along the way, I actually qualified for the trip to America, which I didn't even know I was qualifying for at the time, which actually was an incredible trip, probably better than Mauritius one, which I'll go into in a second briefly. But I just had vision of going on this Mauritius trip with my family, the sand, the sea, and everything. So I just made that decision I was going to go. And when we talk about these trips and luxury and how you are truly treated like royalty. I mean, picked up from the airport, private transfers, the way they treat my daughter, the little extras that we got on the trip, everything about it was just magical, and I could well up talking about it. Once in a lifetime opportunity, something that you don't just get on a paid booked for holiday or trip. It was just truly magical. And I was also blessed that I qualified along the way to go to America, which was incredible in very different ways. Surrounded by like-minded people. Got to meet the co-founders, the scientists, and go behind the scenes of Nu Skin, and it truly did feel like going home, as we say. It really did. I made some notes because I know I'll derail a lot, so so meeting the co-founders, the scientists, and it really was honestly once in a lifetime opportunity, and it just cemented that in me, how much I love Nu Skin, how grateful I am to be partnered with this company. I'd worked for a university for over 10 years, thought I loved it, thought I'd stay there forever, but with little thanks and gratitude at the end of the day. No matter how much hard work I put in, I might have been sent a £10 voucher or occasionally said thank you, but to realise on these trips that if I worked hard, I was rewarded in this way was just alien to me, absolutely alien. And coming away from that trip, my partner was, I started with the company, didn't really understand it. Like many of us, I didn't understand it myself when I joined this business. and neither did he. And seeing the bigger picture, being in America around these like-minded people, meeting the co-founders, going on this Mauritius trip, coming away, he was mind blown, and just, in fact, he even spoke about joining up himself, seeing how incredible it was. So yeah, I just want to give my little thing on how amazing these trips are, and now how grateful I am that I've got to go on them. I can't wait to go on the next one, but also I can't wait for everybody else to experience this, all my team to go on these trips and to experience it. And I just think if I could get there, truly believe, hand on heart, if I can do it, that anybody can. Because when I was sat on that Mauritius beach, and I was just like, wow, I've never been anywhere like this. I'm being thanked this way. And if I am here, truly believe that anybody can. And that's kind of what I got when I decided to push the Mauritius trip, that I looked around and watched other people similar to me, mums, and thought, if they can do it, I can do it. And I truly believe I can do it, that anyone on this call and anyone who joins this business, if they want it, truly can go on these trips. But yeah, thank you. And I am now going to pass to an incredible lady. So honoured to be speaking alongside her, because she truly is an inspiration to us all. She has been on 6 trips now, which is absolutely incredible, all the way from America. It is our beautiful, amazing Kathy Smith.
Oh, thank you so much, Liz. And actually, just to be clear, I earned the 6th one, so I haven't actually been on it yet. I'm off to the Caribbean, or Caribbean as we call it, to the Virgin Islands on a 7-day cruise. And I'm super excited about that, because normally it's not 7 days. So with that said, my name is Kathy Smith, and I live in Houston, Texas. And I've been with the business for just over 6 years. But in the beginning, to talk about, thank you so much, Bridget, for asking me to talk about Success Trips. In the beginning, I actually didn't run for a trip. I didn't know anything about them, but I actually didn't know anything about myself at the time, and I didn't think that I could get it. So basically, with that mindset, I'm never going to get one. And I watched people go to Iceland, and then I thought, wow, that's a pretty exotic place to go for, from America, right? And then the next trip was on a Caribbean cruise. And then I was beginning to watch people. By then I'd started to do the business actively. And then South Africa came. And I was like, whoa, this is legit. This company sends you to South Africa. I mean, that's a long trip, right? At least in the UK, it's the same latitude, right? No, longitude, whatever that one is. Anyway, so the next trip was Australia. And I'm like, I am going to go for Australia. But bearing in mind, I didn't know that there were points. I didn't know there was structure. I just worked my tail off, thinking if I just keep going, I might make Australia. Something derailed me in December. It was a family crisis. Long story short, I didn't make Australia, and I was bummed. And all I could think of is, you're still not good enough to make a trip. Fast forward to January, I'm on my way to a boot camp. I sat next to this girl called Sherry English, and she said to me, did you make Australia? And I said, God, no. How'd I do that? I don't have a team. And she goes, oh, I don't have a team either, and I qualified. And I sat there and I thought I was going to be sick. So I said to her, so you're telling me that you didn't have a team and you got to Australia? And she said, yes. So that was my intention. And that's what I want to say, guys. If you want to go on a trip, you have to set your intention. So that's when I decided I am going to go to Hawaii. I came back with one of those leis that they gave us at boot camp, and I put that freaking thing on every single day. And I wrote, I am going to Hawaii on my whiteboard. So what are the highlights of trips? Briefly, Liz has already touched on the fact that you're treated like royalty. They take you to places that in your dreams you go to. 5-star resorts. These aren't just your Mickey Mouse holiday camps or holiday resorts. These are 5-star resorts that can cost up to $10,000 a week if you went and paid. That's a big chunk of change. And they're paying for your husband, partner, best friend, whatever you want to do. And what that happens is, when my husband actually very skeptical, when he got on the plane at George Bush International, he just thought, yeah, well, we're going to see what happens. And he could not believe that when we got back to George Bush 6 days later, he had not put his hand in his pocket. And even though he kept reaching for his wallet, you know, the very nice people, they would just point to your wristband, right? Everything all inclusive. So when Liz says that they do everything, they do everything. And the swag bag, guys, the swag bag is insane. I mean, we're talking Oakley sunglasses, fantastic beach bags, all the blurb. I mean, everything you can imagine, just for you to enjoy while you're on your stay. So for me, there were the highlights. Plus also the biggest highlight is mixing with other people. Luckily for me, I managed to meet lots and lots of team elites. And then those friendships you build on success trips, they're the ones that you continue to maintain. I mean, I have an airplane buddy. Her name is Carla Hill. Don't know whether anybody on this call knows Carla Hill, but she and I are great friends. Why? Because we met on a trip. And we also met at boot camp. So all these relationships are going to help you with your business because they have walked the walk. And also what changed for me, I guess, on my team was I was actually able to prove that Granny Smith, nobody special, can win not one trip, 2 trip, 3 trip, but by number 4, the message was getting through to my team, and I was able to take 2 people with me to Punta Cana, which was the last success trip. Unfortunately, I'm alone this time, but rest assured, we are all going for Riviera Maya. So I just want to say thank you, Bridget, for this opportunity. Success trips are the way to go, guys. If you want to get the trips and knock your husband's socks off, this is the way. So thank you again. And I'm going to pass it actually to the one and only Bridget Long. Thank you again, Bridget.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. God, honestly, listening to you guys already, it's just really a timely reminder of how impactful these trips really are in so many different ways. And actually, whatever we say here on this call is never going to be a fraction of what we actually live and experience. But nonetheless, we'll do our best. So, as you can see, my name's Bridget. I've been with Nu Skin for 12 and a half years. So I'm the grandma here, and I joined the company after having been a traditional business owner for over 20 years in Paris. I was introduced by a gym buddy who said, you know, come along and take a look at this opportunity. And being a business owner, I had an open mind with a very, very good dose of skepticism. Nonetheless, I went along and had a look, and fast forward, I made a decision after having attended a large event in Paris that I was going to take it very seriously. And at the time, I had this success trip was something that wasn't even on my radar. I just needed to make money for myself and my family. I'm a single mother and sole provider. And I just decided to take it seriously. I could see that the products were extremely powerful and results driven. And I also had a styling and image consultancy business as well. So I just brought it on as a little kind of extra income, if you like. Then I saw that there was this opportunity to go to the company headquarters, and I had to achieve at the time a pin title called a Ruby Partner, and I decided I was going to go for it. And so that was actually the first time I'd ever been to America. I mean, I've traveled extensively all over Europe, but I'd never actually been to America back in 2012, and it was a really challenging time personally as well. But I went over there with my daughter, and let's see if I can pick up a couple of photos. You can tell that it was a long time ago because my photos are not very good quality. But anyway, yeah. So that's us in the top left there. That's me 12 and a half years ago, and walking the red carpet. And the one at the bottom there is my daughter Rose and I in the office actually of one of the founders. Her name is Sandy Tillotson. I would describe this trip in 3 words: shock and awe. We just walked around for those 5 days going, I can't believe they're doing this for us. They've given me an amazing business. It's completely free. And I paid £250,000 for my previous bricks and mortar business a few years prior. So I was just like, how is this possible, right? And so it's a free business. I'm making money. I'm supporting my family. The products are like insane. And I get this as well. I mean, we were just like in a state, as I say, of shock and awe the whole time. A couple of years later, we went to South Africa. And I would say one of the biggest highlights of the trip is that I was actually what we call a 3-star creator. So I didn't just go on my own. There were, I think, about 20 of us in the team on that trip. It was amazing. And my daughter and I were one of the few privileged ones. And we actually flew in a private helicopter over the Cape Horn. And that was the most breathtaking experience. Amongst other things, I mean, there are galas and you get a chance to, buy all kinds of, wonderful things and do wonderful trips. But that helicopter ride was really, really special for us. So that was just a couple of highlights. I think what I will say is what's changed since the Success Trips is that I realized that even though most of us will come in here to make extra income. Okay, that's really why most of us get started. However, by going on these Success Trips, not only do we have amazing experiences with our family, with our significant others or children, whatever it might be, but it reinforces our belief and knowing that we are in the right place. And every single time you go on a trip, you're just like, okay, now I know I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place. We feel blessed. We feel privileged. And of course, we make lifelong friendships as well. So there's a couple of snapshots for me. I'm going to pass over now to the wonderful Morford Ellen Pugh, who is in sunny Wales, and she's a 2-time Success Trip earner, an absolute delight. And she can tell you a little bit about her story and her Success Trip experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bridget. I'm so excited to jump on tonight and speak to you a little bit about the Success Trips. So for me personally, I joined the business 3 years ago, well, coming up to 3 years ago, and Success Trip certainly wasn't something that I had even thought would be possible for myself. As a farmer's daughter, I never really travelled, so we never went on holiday really. We're due to commitments on the farm and stuff. It was very much a case of we'd be lucky if we went to the local show or not each year. So being able to get travel into our yearly calendar was a massive thing for me. I did actually have the opportunity back in 2007 to go out to New Zealand to work, but that was on a farm as well. So it was just a working holiday rather than an enjoyment holiday. When my husband and I got married back in 2015, we never even went on a honeymoon. So when I heard that the trip was going to Mauritius, I actually thought, oh my God, I need to run for this. And I was sat in this very room that I'm sat here speaking to you now, and my husband was sat in the chair behind me. And I'd just come off a call with some of the girls in the US talking about Success Trips, and they had announced that Mauritius was going to be the next one for the UK. And I turned around and I said to him, we're going to Mauritius. And he looked at me and laughed. And I remember thinking, I am so going to prove you that I can do this. And it was not something, that I'd ever imagined would be what it was. Even my husband, so like I know Liz mentioned earlier, if you want to knock your husband's socks off by the whole experience, then I can tell you Success Trips do exactly that. We got on that plane, and he doesn't really like flying, but we got on that plane and he just said to me, oh my God, surely there's going to be a bill for this, because from every little detail that they did along the way, it was crazy. We had, they'd put money behind the bar for us. They sorted out different trips for us whilst we were in Mauritius. We went out for a meal one night and we came back. There was a bottle of rum on the bed. These are just things that I can remember from that trip. It was like a whirlwind of 5 days for us. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this beach looks like just something that you would see on a postcard, not something in real life, because I'd never experienced that whole sandy beach, really, really clear water experience before. Because like I said, I never used to go on holiday anyway. So for me, it was really, really surreal experience. And then same as Liz, the Utah going home trip was something that kind of just slotted in. As I was running for that Mauritius trip, it was something that I was automatically qualifying for without even realizing I was qualifying for it. So The Utah going home trip was a totally different experience again. I was very, very fortunate to make lifelong friends in Tasman and Liz from that trip. We actually, myself and Taz were standing in the queue to check in, and we just got chatting. We hit it off from the word go, which I'm really, really grateful for, that friendship, the friendships that I've made from that trip. I would definitely not be on this call tonight had it not have been for that, you know, first conversation with Taz and being able to spend the time with the girls when we were out there in Utah. That trip, like Liz mentioned, was very much a massive eye-opener with regards to just kind of instilling in me that I'm with the right company, I'm with the best, you know, scientist-backed company that you can ever be with. Headquarters is definitely somewhere, when they say you're going home, I certainly feel that feeling when I go there. I've been very fortunate, obviously, due to having US uplines, to have been there 3 times now since I've started with Nu Skin. And every time I go there, I definitely feel like, you know, it's a very, very homely place, and people are very, very welcoming there. So if there's anything that you do promise yourself from this call, is that you will work your ass off to get onto that going home trip, because I can promise you it is massively, massively worthwhile. The friendships that you'll make and the community that you can bring into your life and into your kind of work family is unbelievable. It's definitely something that will stay with me forever. So yeah, that's my experience from the trip, and yeah, I hope you all experience it at least once. But I know once you get the traveling bug, you'll certainly want to go on more, just like I do. And I'm going to pass it off now to Rebecca Cooper, which, from what I've understood, that she has started a qualification for the going home trip to Utah, which I'm super excited for her. So Rebecca.
Hi, thank you so much. So as you can see, my name is Rebecca, and I have been with Nu Skin just over a year. It was a year past in March. So when I joined the company, I was already a product user. So I had used the products and devices for a year before then. So I already absolutely loved the products. And then when I joined the company, I've been asked a couple of times, but it just wasn't ever really quite the right time. And then I was signed off sick from work for a pregnancy-related illness. So I have got now 3 children under the age of 5. This was during my 3rd pregnancy that I was signed off sick, and I work as a midwife. So prior to this, I worked 30 hours a week. So when I was signed off, I really needed something for me that was going to keep my brain going. I had never been off work sick. So that's really where it all started with Nu Skin. But before I even purchased a product, I think just the midwife in me and needing to know why, and I like to really look into everything. I had done a lot of research prior, like I said, to even investing in the LumiSpa. So I already knew that Nu Skin were a really good company. I could see just from what I read online how well they treated everyone who was partnered with them. So now that I am with Nu Skin, when I was on my maternity leave, I was able to make enough money to pay for my full family to take on holiday, and we're literally just back. We got back on Wednesday. So that was absolutely amazing, being able to surprise my husband and say that we could afford to go even though I was on maternity leave. And when that happened, that's when it really kind of changed for me with Nu Skin. I could really see the bigger picture. I could see that going forward, and when I was looking back to returning to work, that actually I had an amazing opportunity here. And now I have since handed in my notice. So I do still work as a midwife, but I'm now on the staff bank, which means I can pick and choose my shifts. I don't need to worry about childcare. I can literally just work when I can, but I have Nu Skin that I can do from home around the kids. Bedtimes, nap times, whenever they give me a minute, which is, as you can imagine, isn't a lot. But I absolutely love this company, and my goal, if you like, has evolved throughout the past year, as you've probably heard through what I'm telling you. But I have just started my qualifications for the We Go Home trip to Utah, and I actually managed to make these qualifications whilst I was on my family holiday. So you can imagine how excited and chuffed with all where all my family were cheering for me and everyone was on board or like, where are you at now? You hit your goal. So to be able to do that when I was on holiday for a trip that I had helped to pay for from Nu Skin, it was just, oh, it's just absolutely incredible. And then hearing everyone's stories tonight, honestly have goosebumps. Like, I just can't believe that I'm going to be there. And like what Kathy said, hanging up our necklace at the door, I'm going to be sitting a suitcase at my door and we're always tripping over it for the next 6 months. But I am definitely going to Utah, and like I said, it's completely free to do, and that's just what I could never get my head around. So it's completely changed mine and my family's life, really. It's been an absolute blessing, allowing me to be from home but still providing for my family, and there really isn't anything to lose. And like I said, my goal has evolved through me starting. Initially it was just do something for me, then it was on my maternity pay, and now it's actually helping my family and for an income side of things. And now, yeah, shooting for a trip for America. So the childcare is sorted. I'm definitely going to be there. So I will pass it over now to my gorgeous friend and upline, Tasman.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. And I mean, I'm just super excited to follow all these amazing women that I've had the luxury to meet alongside my Nu Skin journey. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Tasman. This is nearly my 5-year anniversary with Nu Skin. And honestly, I don't even know where the time goes. I actually started on my maternity leave. Previous to that, I used to sell prestige luxury cars. And I really didn't know, like the girls had said, the possibilities with Nu Skin. I just knew that there was potentially retail profit that I could earn, and I'm going to explain the money side in a minute, but I just knew that there was a retail pocket of money that I could earn for myself that enabled me to just fill out my maternity pay, because I'm sure if there's any mums on the call that you'll know how crippling the money is from leaving a full-time job. And I just saw the power of trying the toothpaste, seeing the results work, and then being able to share it online and then make an instant profit. And that's honestly how my journey started. I went to my first event 4 months in, and I just saw, like Liz mentioned, normal people on stage live this all like extraordinary life. And at the time, like, I had some financial difficulties and we were remortgaging our house, and unfortunately we couldn't because of that financial difficulty. And I think it sometimes that you really kind of have to come to a point in your life where I actually felt like I'd hit rock bottom, but it was probably the best pivot that I'd ever had, because I had an opportunity that I could either run with this and see where it took me. And obviously in that time, I've had 2 pregnancies, I've had 2 maternities, and I've qualified for 2 trips. And one thing that I just wanted to explain from my experience is I just love holidays. I love the fact that you make, you know, memories with your family, and it really enables you to switch off from reality. And it's just a relief bridge for those that, you know, like your husbands, like your partners and your friends, that if you can show that you're living your life out loud, like these ladies are doing, that your friends are going to be a bit like, well, why not me? And honestly, you want to do this with your friends, because when you see the power of what this can do to you and your family, you know, you just want to go and inspire and help other people. But for me, the things I loved about the trips, and obviously it was the Utah and Mauritius trip that I qualified for also, is, you know, the free excursion trips. So when you actually go to a success trip, Nu Skin actually gives you a full itinerary of free activities. There were things like glass bottom boat activities, there was like dolphin swimming. And for me, I've got 2 daughters, and just being able to show my daughters the animal's natural habitat of where dolphins come from, where whales come from, not in a tank. And for me, like, that was just the biggest highlight, seeing my daughter say like, mummy look, like she couldn't understand that there was dolphins next to her on the boat. And, you know, really just the friendships you make, like Morford said, we were behind each other in a queue in the airport, and literally the whole entire Utah trip we spent time together. Morford was with her best friend, I was with my mum, so you actually get to take a +1 for free with you. And I mean, you know, the Morford's best friend and my mum made friends, and that's the power of it. It doesn't just benefit you, it benefits those around you. And really just being able to like think that, you know, Mauritius is a bucket goal destination, and I 5 years ago never could have gone on a holiday like that in my current circumstances. So this honestly takes you places where you couldn't even potentially ever in your wildest dreams imagine Nu Skin will take you. And the reason why we're doing this call this evening is because we have our next success trip that's going to be announced very, very soon, literally in the next couple of days. But for me, like, what changed for me when I went on the trip was I saw what a 5-star lifestyle looked like. And when you're invested in Nu Skin and taking, you know, and you take the time to learn and improve your skills, because every time, you know, everybody that starts that, you know, you don't have the right skill set yet to do what we do, but that's why we do these calls, to help you. But I just saw other people around me that had been on, like Kathy, 6+ trips, and I saw their lifestyle change in front of me. And this is what Nu Skin gives you. The success trips are there to reward you, but they also show you what your life could look like every single day, because that's something else on the other side that Nu Skin can offer you. But being able to see my family, so my mum came to Utah with me, my husband and my 2 girls came to Mauritius with me, and Zara saying to me, like, Mummy, when can we go back? When can we go back? It's just honestly memories like that, when we literally landed our feet in that Mauritius hotel, Ben just looking at me thinking, like, thank you. And that's, you know, that's just something that you can never take away from you. And just, I'm the type of person where I get the fear of missing out. If I see other people on my social media experiencing these trips, I get massive FOMO. So it's one of those things that please don't ever compare yourself to anybody on this call. You just, you know, that this is just here to show you that what's possible, and you just don't ever want to be in a position where you miss another one. So I'm literally going to talk about the money. And if you have any questions, I know we've slightly overran, but the person that invited you onto this call can obviously go through these with you at the end. So when you come in and get started with Nu Skin, it is completely free. There is no subscriptions, minimum orders, targets. You can choose your level of mentorship or anticipation based on what it is that you're looking for. We help you serve your goals, and honestly, everybody's different, like you've heard from all of these ladies share their stories this evening. So the first way to make money with Nu Skin is retail profit. So this is exactly how I started when I came in, that you will potentially get started with the whitening treatment toothpaste, and the profit could be anything from a couple of pounds up to £50 plus on the devices that we sell. And you are paid daily and make immediate income. So in today's economy, people that are struggling to pay for their bills, pay for their fuel, pay for their food shopping, this is so powerful. So if you were somebody that wanted to earn a little bit more, and I kind of got that kind of taste when I started to earn a bit of retail profit, there is a second way you can earn money, which is a sharing bonus. So on every single product that we have within the Nu Skin range, everything has like a sharing bonus, which is essentially free money from something like 50p up to £20. And every single time that you send a personalized link, which comes from an app you can download for free, Nu Skin pays you that for free. Then some people, like me, want to earn a little bit more. So you can then work towards a qualification, which again is based on your own flexibility, which you can take you 1 week to 6 months. And when you reach that certain level, you're then able to create a 40% bonus on every single sale that's on every level. So for an example of this, if I introduced Liz to the whitening treatment toothpaste and she fell in love with it, then she introduced Rebecca at the very beginning, she would have just made retail profit on Rebecca's sales. Now, if Liz became a brand representative, not only would she earn her own sharing bonuses of the toothpaste that she sold and Rebecca's sharing bonus, so that you then start to then experience multiple sharing bonuses from every single person you personally sign up and who Rebecca signs up. So you can make then up to 40%, which is when your income can grow to thousands of pounds, which is when lots of people at this transition become full-time with Nu Skin. And this is when your imagination gets stretched even further, just like Rebecca had, and like she mentioned on the call. You know, and the success strips, as we've mentioned, that, you know, it's a significant way that Nu Skin just partly does for you. And honestly, you know, when you look at everything else alongside Nu Skin, this is just a byproduct. And it's, you know, you can see from the pictures how you just want to be on that postcard picture with you and your family. So all of this level is paid weekly. So if you are in a job where you're just being paid monthly, this is where people love this flexibility, because you're now earning daily pay, which is your retail profit, your weekly pay, which is your sharing bonuses from every single level that's in your team that's selling. And then there's essentially one other level that you can earn money from. And you tend to find that there'll be 3 traits of people that tend to gravitate towards this level. And this is something that you just grow to do. The first trait is internal excellence, joy, and willingness to learn. And what I love by that is that, you know, like I said at the beginning, most jobs that you apply for, you essentially have like, you know, certain qualifications that suit that job role. With this, you just have to be willing to unlearn what you don't know and just be willing to learn everything you don't already know. And the second trait I love with this is that you want to be a part of something that's growing. And the third trait with this is you want to make an impact and not just an income. So I think the biggest blessings come when you enter this stage. And because this is then the 4th level pay that you then become mentoring and coaching people. This is something where you just duplicate exactly what I've just mentioned by helping other people sell retail and then obviously start their own e-stores. And this is when you can then build something called a distribution channel. And this is when it gets super exciting, because you can then start to earn tens of thousands of pounds per month. So if this sounds something like you're interested in, you know, and where you're potentially wanting to build something called leverage, this is where you then learn to separate your time from your money. And what the beautiful thing is here is that when you separate your time and your money, you can then build something that will go on with or without you. And you cannot outwork a network where this is when it creates time flexibility, which means that whether you show up or not, whether you're ill or not, whether you're on holiday or not, you still get paid with Nu Skin. So I just literally want to say I'm really sorry it's overrun, but I really do hope that you've kind of enjoyed how it's overrun with the excitement of this. But if you do have any questions, you know, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. But we have our next success trip that's running soon, so I'm going to pass you over to Lauren that's just going to close the call.
Thank you so much, Taz. Is anybody else? I feel so inspired right now to get on that next success trip. Can I get a show of hands for everyone that's going to be going for that trip? Because I am literally pumped. What time is it? This is normally like my bedtime, and I am ready to run for that trip. Thank you, everybody, for getting on this evening. As Taz said, we will be getting a big reveal in the next few days of what the next success trip will be, and how you can get there. So please get in touch with whoever invited you to this call. If you've got any questions, I'll be able to sort of show you and give you all the information that you need to know. And we've also got coming up next weekend on our Sunday call, we've got information on our next Oxford boot camp, which is one of our trainings, one of our team trainings, and that will be on September the 30th. So thank you everybody for coming on. And everybody that was speaking this evening. And yes, I'll leave you all to your evening. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ladies.
Bye.